name. Welcome. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm so excited to get started. Tonight, I'm going to go into kind of like a hodgepodge of different ideas and different topics. So let's get started. Let me share my screen with you guys.
Okay, guys, if y'all are just popping on, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself, that would be awesome.
Okay, bear with me. Let me get this up for you guys. Okay, so like I said, it's kind of a combination of different topics. And I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited as well to be sharing with you guys. So what we're going to be chatting about is the 2-month funk, direct messaging, getting out of our comfort zone, building our teams up, and creating challenge group goals, and a little touch on balance. So I'm going to start with the 2-month funk, and that's what I call it. After being, or when I announced myself as Beachbody coach, and I had my first, challenge group invite, people were messaging me. The traffic on my post was really high, and it came pretty relatively easy for me. People were reaching out. It was new. It was exciting. And then after 2 months, I noticed that it became a little more difficult. People weren't commenting as much, and the direct messages, they kind of stopped coming in my inbox, and I was like, what is going on? And so, like all of our team calls are at 2 months long, and you're not getting as much traffic, and you're not getting, people aren't commenting, and it's kind of, I just call it the 2 month funk because it happened to me. So what do you do? What do you do after that? You could have the most amazing transformation picture, and you could post it on social media, but if you can't just depend on people to be the ones to reach out to you. You have to put in the work. And so what does that mean, putting in the work? A big thing of being a coach to me is direct messaging. And it took me a while to realize that. So I'm going to go into kind of the who, what, when, how, why. And this is just personally, this is just what I use. Everything's different. Things work differently for different people. But I'm going to touch on kind of what I do. So first thing that I like to
say it if you want.
I'm sorry? Oh. So the first thing I like to do is using their name. I love using people's name. Whenever someone's talking to me and they use my name, it kind of makes me realize, oh, okay, they're zoned in. So I love using their name. I use it when I'm on the intro. I use their name when I'm saying talk to you later, and I even throw in their name in the middle somewhere. It just creates a sense of personalization. Number 2, I always personalize my messages. At the very beginning, before I even get into the invitation part, I mentioned, I noticed the vacation they went on. I'm noticing the cute dress that you wore from Sunday brunch last week. I'm noticing your family and how much I enjoy watching you grow up. Anything from A to Z, just noticing something about them and letting them know that you're recognizing them. It just creates that bond, I feel like, from the get-go. Number 3, I like to use characteristics to let them know why this challenge is for them. Why people want to feel, they want to know why you think that this, why should I join? What makes me, why should I join? Tell me more. So I always like to use positive energy, a great attitude. It can be anything from like a background, like a fitness background, dance background, something that you know about them, just different characteristics. I try my best not to overload on info, the first message at least. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but I try my best not to overload on info. And the last one, short or long, mix it up. However, teach its own. Everyone's different. But I do think that short or long works. Now, I'm not going to read all these to you, but I'm sorry, I'm kind of new to Fuzzy. I want to zone in on that, and I want you to look. I want to share with you the flow of this first message, this is literally what I use probably 85% of the time, messaging wise. So if you can see, I use her name, and then she just moved and she got a new job. I'm asking her about her new job, and then I go into why I think this challenge would be a great fit for her. I mentioned her energy and her fun attitude. And then I go into a little bit about what Beachbody has done for me. I touch on that a little bit. I share the 4 characteristics of a Beachbody challenge. Yes, this is a little lengthy, but this is just what works. This is what works for me. And then I let her know if she's interested. Let me know, and she is. So she's into it, and we kind of go back and forth. I tell her more, and she chooses the 21-day fix. And I can post kind of my, my word for word, what I talk about, like my responses to the different things she's talking about. I can post that later. I don't want to read all of this, but she chooses 20-day fix, and then I ask her at the end to let me know when she orders so I can track her package for her. And she snapshots a picture of like her confirmation email, and that was like within a day. It was crazy, but that's literally a message. The kind of the characteristics I was talking about, the name and the why the challenge for them, making it personalized, all those things. That is my go-to. That is my go-to message I use daily. And then another one that I want to talk about briefly is everyone, especially on social media world, everyone is doing something to better their life, right? It's either Advocare or the Whole30. So many of my friends are doing that. Beachbody, whatever it may be, everyone's doing something. And I noticed that this girl on my social media was talking about insanity. And I was like, oh, awesome, that's a Beachbody program. And I was like liking her post. And then I noticed, like, you know what, I don't even know, I don't think this girl has a coach. Like, I was just noticing, it wasn't like Shakeology, it was strictly just like insanity. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to message her. She probably has a coach, but I'm just going to try it. And so I messaged her, and she didn't have a coach. And then, but she was taking like fitness, I think is what you call it. And so I was just like, you know what, girl, no worries. I'm glad you found a product that works for you. Let me know if you're ever interested in Shakeology. And a month later, she just messaged me, and she's like, hey, girl, question for you. I wanted to get the 21-day fix. Could I from you? How much is it? And from there, it just like went on, and she became a challenger, and she got a new program. She got a challenge pack. And so you never want to, don't hesitate. Like if you think, oh, they might have a coach, like if it's a different program or Advocare, whatever it may be, always get that courage to reach out, because you never know where it will go. So that is a little bit about direct messaging. And some more examples of that personalization that I use. I literally use these today. I see your healthy eating post. I think this challenge is so up your alley. I've used that before. I love seeing your running post. So motivating. And this is all right after I'm like, hey girl, and right before I kind of go into the information on Beachbody and the challenge. And then another one I literally use today. I know you have prior fitness experience in dance. You have an awesome Zoom the Dance program side. I'd love to show you. You always want to connect with them, right? Because if you're just sending them kind of like a monotone message, it's just, I feel like if you connect with them and make more of an effort on that personal level, it just works wonders, and it goes a long way. The next thing I want to talk about is do not let the no's get you down. It will happen. Truth is, they will happen, and quite often, honestly, for me personally, no's happen more than yeses, and that's just how it is. You'll have crickets and no's more than you'll have yeses, and that's okay. Don't let it get you down, because honestly, it happens to all of us, and best thing you can do is use that fuel, light your fire again, and just keep moving and keep messaging, because I feel like that's where it all is, just messaging and making those relationships. And always leaving that door open. I'm used to PowerPoint. Prezi's new for me, so it's a little tricky. These are all just brief examples of no's that I get. I mean, I get them all the time, I feel weird having their names up there, but So one is like, I have a camp that I go to already. One of them says, she's about to get married. She's doing the whole 30. One of them it's not in the budget. And one of them just straight up says, I can't join. But I feel like with no's, the most important thing you want to leave that door open. You want to respond kind. You want to wish them well. You want to still, just wish them well. Keep that door open because you never know if they're going to come back and circle around to you. You just never know, guys. The next thing, anyone have any questions as far as direct messaging? We'll go on to the next little topic. Okay. Okay, so this is you are bigger than your comfort zone. And this is just a little thing I came up with because it took me a while to get out of my comfort zone. It took me a while, like I already said, to start messaging. It also took me a while to friend request, and I didn't realize the impact friend requesting has. Friend requests, friend requests, friend requests. I think our coach powerhouse is 3 a day, if I'm not mistaken. And my rule of thumb I use is I have more than 20 mutual friends, and if they're not like friends with my sister or like other coaches, I add you. I straight up add you, and we become friends. I feel like your target audience grows this way, and it's key. I mean, not everyone who has like over 1,000 friends. That's hard, especially when you're a coach and social media is our outlet. It's a huge outlet for us. So adding is only beneficial. And it's not creepy if you have more than 20 mutual friends. And my target, personally for me, is women like 20 and above. And so I add you. And I think that, especially new coaches, it's hard to realize the impact that has. I've had challengers, I've added people, and then I'll message them as one of my direct messaging invites to my challenge groups, and it's worked. I've had like a few challenges happen that way. So, and then another thing, this sounds silly, but carry your Shakeology bottle around. I drink my Shakeology in class every day. I'm a full-time student, and I had a girl like the second week of class goes, "What is that brown stuff you're drinking?" And I drink chocolate and like stuff. And so I started talking to her about it, and lo and behold, like she did a challenge with me a couple months ago. And so just kind of a thing, just like a little out of my comfort zone thing that I started doing. Another thing is setting up meet and greets and Shakeology giveaways. And I know a few coaches have done this. I know Laura, my sister, has done this before, and a few other coaches, like setting up a meet and greet to kind of allow people to test the product before they purchase. And I think that's a great idea. I'm doing my first Shakeology giveaway this week. And my plan is to make like a video and be like, hey guys, comment below, and I'm having a giveaway for Shakeology. We have that awesome deal in Shakeology with the samples in a box, like all the flavors. And so my husband, he's a discount coach, so I loaded him up, and we have all these samples that I plan on using. So those are 2 great ideas, and I'm sure if you guys are interested, y'all could post on our page, and whoever has done it before can give you more info. But I've seen those. I've seen the meet and greets and the giveaways, and I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm going to do that. So I'm having my first Shakeology giveaway this week. But yeah, just different ideas to get out of your comfort zone and to change it up, because it's after a few months, you want to change it up. You want to start going different outlets, doing what you can to kind of mix it up. And this is just, I know we're all familiar with this list, this Coach Power Hour. I call it Power Hour, but I guess it's the Power List. And all these things are so crucial in building our business, especially for new coaches. This is like religiously what we should be doing. It should be our goal every day. And even though we have crazy days, I know it. I know we all have crazy days. This should really be a goal that we hit every single one of those daily. And I just wanted to pull that little picture up. Okay, building your team. So for every challenge group that I have, I set goals for that specific challenge group beforehand. So if I have a challenge group, I'm like, okay, what do I want my takeaway to be from this challenge group? Do I want people to continue on Shakeology? Absolutely. Do I want discount coaches? Of course. Do I want business builder coaches? Yes. So you kind of like set up goals for yourself, set up for the challenge group. And after week 1, what I always do, this is talking about my discount coaches, I reach out to all my challengers because I do not know one single person who does not like Shakeology. And if they aren't ordering it again, it's probably from just because of a financial situation, and that's totally fine. But I don't know one person, I'm sure you guys don't know either, who does not love Shakeology. So after week 1, I send out, along with my, the information. Hi, Randy. My information on auto ship. I send out this little tidbit. I'm gonna. Thank you for bearing with me with the zooming in and zooming out. It's kind of annoying. So I just say, and when continuing with Shakeology, I wanted to let you know about becoming a discount coach, you getting 25% off. And then I tell them that I was a discount coach, which I was for a few months before I became an active coach, a business builder coach. And I tell them I love when challengers continue on this because Shakeology has made such a huge difference in my life. I enjoy seeing it do the same for others. Plus it's free, because it is. If you have a challenge pack, you get that reimbursement. It's awesome. It is a win-win. And I send this out after week 1 because I want them to start thinking about it, and I will revisit it with them every week. And for the whole challenge, I'll be like, hey girl, hey, have you been thinking about discount coach? You'd be awesome. So that's a discount coach. Now, the other aspect of building your team, obviously, is business builder, which that's like our goal, right, is to get business builders. So for the potential business builder coaches, and those are the ones that are actively hosting their own challenges. Those are the ones that you see leadership skills. Those are the ones that are participating and are just, they're killing it. And you want them a part of our team. Those are the ones I send out a text or a personal message after week 1 as well, and I plant that seed. Yes, week 1 is early. They've only been doing it for 5 days. It's still new to them, but you're planting that seed. That is allowing them to be thinking of the opportunities and the potential that they could have as a coach. And within that message, you're lifting them up. You're telling them their strengths. You're telling them you're complimenting them. And I know all my coaches that are listening, I did this with you guys because I saw it in you guys, and now you're here and you're awesome. You assure them that they will not be doing this alone because, you are going to guide them. You're going to be holding their hand, and you're going to be there with them, teaching them the ways of being a coach. So this is just an example of something I say. Hey, girlies, so proud of you on week 1. You're doing such a great job. I wanted to plant, and remember, this is after 5 days. I want to plant this in your ear now. Susan, you would make such a phenomenal coach. You're a natural leader. You have such great ideas and dedication. Your posts are always motivational, self-check, and your journey is already so inspiring to others. I would personally train you. You want to reassure them, I would personally train you on the ins and outs of this coaching world. I would love to set up a Zoom call. That's your next step. I want to set up a Zoom call with you to answer those questions. And then you throw in a time. You end with a question. Does Tuesday, anytime after 6 p.m. work for you? Woohoo! Keep rocking it. I say woohoo all the time. It's probably annoying to but hey. Let's see. So yeah, that is a message I send to my people who I know are gonna rock it, my business builders that I want on my team. And this is an example of someone who hasn't been in a challenge, right? So that's the message on the left is someone who is in my challenge. This message I'm about to show you is someone who I was just like, you know what? She needs to be a coach. She's my friend on Facebook. I was like, hey girl, what are you doing? How's life? She was my Zoom instructor at UNC actually. And so I was like, you're enjoying life. How are you? I don't know if you see my post. I love what I do. Basically join my team. I don't want to read it word for word, sorry. And then she's like, hey, actually, I've been meaning to ask you what you're doing. Yada, yada, yada. So then we got to talking, and she's like, you know what? I want to join a challenge. I want to see what this is all about. And she literally just finished her first challenge with me, and I'm working on her to become a coach. But she loved it. She's continuing, and she's doing awesome. And that just goes to show, guys, direct messaging is so huge. Like, it took me a while to realize that, and now it is my goal. Like, I'm in bed when my husband wakes up for work, like messaging like at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., That's early for me. So So does anyone have any questions on direct messaging, building your team before we go to the next thing? Okay, wonderful. So after you're sending your invite, then what? What do you do, right? You sent them your invite, you're waiting for a response. What do? You follow up with them. Following up with people is just as crucial as messaging them in the first place. A strong example of this is people that you reached out to for our amazing coach sneak peek that we had last week. You ladies rocked it. Y'all were awesome. It was so inspirational. So a strong example of following up would be with the people that you invited to that sneak peek. What do you do now, right? You're like, oh, I added them. They were kind of participating, but maybe not really, or maybe some of them didn't even participate. What do you do now? Well, a great opportunity would be to message them. So I literally messaged probably over 10 people. Like, when was this? Yesterday. I was like, hey girl, I saw you on Coach Sneak Peek. Again, I'm using their name, right? I saw you on Sneak Peek. How did you like it? Which is such an awesome opportunity. You let them know the qualities that would make them a successful coach. You're personalizing with them. You're letting them know about new coach training, which starts next week, right? And you're letting them know if they've done a challenge pack, that it's free for them, and you'll be there for them. You want to set up a call. You give them time. You end with a question. And this girl actually just became a coach an hour ago. So that is a direct question. That's a direct message that I did for all the people that I invited. I didn't even see some of the people that I invited, but I literally sent that out to all the people. Of course, I personalized it, but I sent that out to all the people that I invited for the coach. And then after that, so it's hard to remember the timeline of things, right? When you have a new coach. So when you send that message, you want to set up a Zoom call. The face-to-face experience is way better than a phone or a text. I mean, you're being able to see their expression. They're able to see your passion, and so on and so forth. The coach video, Jessica and Raquel's awesome coach video, which is in our Team VIP Google Docs. That's awesome. I send that out. I send it out to all of my coaches, and it's kind of just like the basics. Kind of goes through the ABCs of coaching and touches it a little bit. And then after that, you want to send them the application. You want to send them the reimbursement form so they can officially join our wonderful, awesome, fabulous team. So those are just the kind of the 1, 2, 3s of how I personally do it. So yeah, let's see. I talked really, really fast. Okay, you carry your team. So once you have new business builders, the first couple of weeks are crucial. You have them on your team, and they're not familiar with how this works, right? You want to make sure that you guide them. You have to guide them the right way. You are almost like you're a teacher to them. You're their coach. So you make sure to send them all the coach manual, the 6 days of new coach emails. You ask them questions. You let them ask you questions. You make time for them. I think with my coaches, I tried to have Zoom time with them at least every week. Whenever they had questions, I would try to get with them ASAP, because there's a lot of questions. I mean, you can ask my upline Laura. Like, I text her so much every day, just trying to understand. There's so much. That's why we have 6 days of coaching, new coach emails, because there's so much to cover, and it's all great things. You just don't want to overwhelm yourself. So you want to make sure that they fully understand. The next thing you want to do is you want to set their challenge group date. Once you have that challenge group date set, you can work on all the ins and outs and the in-between of posting and kind of going through that manual together and whatnot. So you want to set that challenge group date for them. When do they want it to start? I guess it can be whenever. I always start on a Monday. And you want to come up with a game plan. You want to come up with a timeline that is comfortable for them, right? This is at their pace, and you are there to help guide them through that. When is their first invite post? Is it going to be a before and after? Is it going to be a selfie? When is their last call post? Are they going to co-coach with you? If not, who are they going to co-coach with? All those things, you just want to make sure there's clear, it's all clear details, right? want to go over the Google Docs for our team VIP and responses and all that jazz that we're going over now. You are a huge part in your coach's success. You are, because you brought them here, you brought them where you're at. Yes, it's up to them to succeed, but you have to help them. You have to help them along the way. Especially, I feel like, personally, especially in the first month or two, you have to, you got to be there for them. So yes, you carry your team. What else? What else, friends? Let's see. And I'm just going to touch because we're at the end of it. What is balance? I think we're all still learning this. There's days where I'm like, I do not know what balance is at all. I have wasted time watching Netflix. Like, what's wrong with me? So what is balance? We're all moms. We're all moms, wives, students, full-time jobs. The list goes on, whatever it may be. I truly feel like in this business, you get out what you put in. And in April, I know it's not an excuse. We all have crazy lives. I had a crazy, it's still April, right? Yeah, it's still April. I had a crazy beginning of April, and I did not put in as much work as I should have. And I know it. I own it. I know it. I knew it when it was happening. And I don't have as many success points as I would like. But I have a challenge coming in the second week of May, and I am in the middle of a challenge, and I am just in it to win it, and I know that I have to work my little booty off, and that's okay. Things happen, life happens, you get out what you put in. Make the time, right? If you know that you have a long school day, or whatever it may be, I have like night class, and it's awful. And so you make the time, right? If you know you're getting home late, then you wake up early and you make that time to do your coach power hour, to put in your direct messaging, to do those friend requests, to respond to those 3 emails you've got about your upcoming challenge, whatever it may be. Make the time. Complete your coach power hour list. And then what is your current personal development? I feel like I know books might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I feel like personal development is just as important as anything else. As a coach, you have to work on yourself. The way you feel affects your business, right? If you're feeling down and low, your business is going to feel down. If you're feeling, oh man, like this book I'm reading is really lifting me up. It's really making me, walk on my toes. It's awesome. Your business is going to be like that, right? Personal development is crucial. And I'm still reading. It's taken me a while, but I'm reading. I'm a Badass. You're a Badass. Title. Yeah. So I'm reading that now. And don't give up. Remember, we all have rough weeks. Use that to get back up on the horse and use it as fuel for your fire. And reach out. If you're having a rough week, if you're feeling low, reach out. You have your whole team. You have your whole team VIP. You have your upline. Don't hesitate to reach out, because you have a huge community of people who are here for you. Here for you always. Okay, guys, and that is it. Questions, comments, anything I can help answer?
I loved your messages about adding people's names. I'd never think to do that. Like, I'll just add it like, hey, Natalie, and then I won't mention their name again. But I feel like everybody likes to hear their name, and it adds a little personal touch. So thank you for that. I'm going to start adding those to my messages too.
Of course. Thank you.
You did so good, Natalie. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You've been leading these calls all along. It was so good.
I was so nervous. I made my husband listen to the whole thing before.
That's so good. But I want to say, I don't know if you guys were looking closely at her messages. You had so many good examples, which is awesome, because that means that you're doing it consistently. And that, my friend, is how you will see success. But if you look at the way that she did her verbiage, it's like sales 101, not in an icky way, but like psychology way. You always want to speak in a leading manner. So like when she was talking about somebody that's in a challenge group and getting them into a coach, always leading the conversation by automatically setting up a Zoom call. Does Tuesday at 7 o'clock work? Like super specific, because you want to give people the opportunity to say yes or no, or I can't do 7, but I'll do 4 or whatever. If you just leave it too broad, like, hey, get back to me if you think it's something you're interested in, you'll never hear back from them. A very specific yes or no, or let me know if 7 o'clock works, because then they feel obligated to respond, whether or not it's positive response or negative response. So really pay attention to that, because that will help you save so many headaches. Sometimes you feel like people are just ignoring, they're not. And same thing too with her follow-ups. Definitely do your follow-up. Times I will do follow-ups for people, just saying, hey, just to see if you got my last message, hope you're having an awesome Wednesday or whatever, and they'll pop right back and say, oh, hey, I never saw that, but I see it now, tell me more, blah blah blah. Because if you pay attention on Facebook, sometimes people are just scrolling, or they're at a stoplight and they've seen the message, but they didn't actually look at it, and they just got busy and forgot. So sometimes you feel like you're bothering people, but you're not. So don't hesitate to follow up, because just like Nataly said, sometimes it takes several times before people are, slow enough in their day to actually mentally receive it and respond. Or they're like, you know what, this girl keeps talking to me and I'm kind of interested. So don't feel like you're nagging. You're not. Go at it and follow up with them until they give you a response. They can tell you like, no, I'm not about it, get out of my face. Or if they don't respond, just keep going, because it may be that person that just needs 5 before they're willing to jump on board. Good, such a good call.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I had a girl who, when I first, like in December, when I first announced my first challenge, when I first announced my first challenge, she's like, oh, I'm interested. And then it was like a back and forth. I kept following back. I kept like following up. And she's just now about to buy a challenge pack, and it's almost May. So that was, I'm telling you, I followed up with her every challenge group. Hey girl, I'm gearing up for my next challenge, reaching out to you. And then she'd be like, oh, now's not the time. But I had her on my list. And I hit her twice a month. Like twice a month I hit her. And now she's about to buy a challenge pack. Like that just goes to show, like it's, people will circle back. If you follow up, people will circle back.
Totally. And too, when you're doing like your people that are in your challenge groups, or people that you're invited to and you're thinking about like coach opportunity prospects, don't ever assume that someone wouldn't want to do it. I know sometimes if I feel like they're like in a high powered job, or if they, I think that her husband makes millions of quadrillions, so she would never want to do it. Just don't let yourself, because the most surprising people will come out and end up being amazing coaches. But don't let yourself get into that, like, oh, she probably wouldn't want to do it, or oh, she wouldn't be good at it. Just really be open to everybody, because when you look at the top 10, it's like 10 very different human beings, but coaches are they're so successful in so many different ways, and so many people that you think would never like this opportunity are looking for something exactly like it. So just be open to that. And Ginger, are you on a plane? Are you on a plane headed back from Vegas?
Yes.
And how was George Strait?
Yes,
the
that's
one I love.
Awesome.
I love him so.
It was so incredible.
I always tell Caleb, I'm like, I'm just going to tell you, if George Strait came through the door, I'm out. I know he could be my dad,
That's
but
right.
Anyway, I digress.
Nataly, so good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. First time headphones. I think it was so important to say that at the very beginning, it comes easy for people. Brand new coaches, if you do have that transformation picture, or if that confidence comes through, and then it's just crickets. And so that is so tough on month 3. You're absolutely right. It's like, what do I do now? And in direct messaging, exactly right. It's where it's at, for sure. And your examples, are so thoughtful. When we were reviewing this today, we're going through it, you take so much time and effort for each person. And that shows, people start trusting you and they want to listen, and then all of a sudden they're buying. So kudos to you. I'm definitely going to take that technique for sure.
Thank you. Thanks, Laura.
Yes, and
I liked it that you mentioned in there that we're going to get more no's. We're going to hear a whole lot more no's. There's so many no's, it's like ridiculous.
For sure. But you know what? I'd rather have a no than you ignore me. Like
I hear you.
Like I just need a response. Like Amy Silverman says, follow up until they tell you flat out no, or they block you. Otherwise, you don't really have an answer. And for most people, it's like if you follow up 8 times is when it happens. So
it's very true. I probably, the most I get is probably crickets. Like honestly, people, but that doesn't stop me. Like I'll give them a few days and like, hey, just checking back, just circling back. And sometimes, I kid you not, sometimes they still don't respond. And I'm like, you know what, they're probably busy. But I'll like follow up with them like in a month, But yeah, just like you said, 8 times. I mean, until they are like, hey girl, can you give me some space? Then there's no way. There's no.
And I feel like follow-up message via Facebook Messenger with your voice. Like I'll do a follow-up message just written, and then if they don't, then I'll just pop in with my like, hey girly, I'm not sure if you saw, I'm totally not trying to bug you, but, and then when they hear your voice, they're like, oh, okay, this girl's not crazy. I'll get back to her. So that's my method.
I remember one of you guys had a call on that. I still have yet to try that. I need to do that. That's a great idea.
Cool.
I found that people respond really well to the voice messages and the ones that I've used them. But I'll be honest, like I'm not very good at at following up after crickets. So do you think we could like start a thread or a document and add some follow-up verbiage to kind of help peeps?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I think that'd be great because, it's like we have scripts, not really scripts, but like, stuff, verbiage to help like initially contact people to help get people into the actual challenge. But then like the cricket people, I ignore them. Like I have crickets and I'm not very good at the follow-up. And that's, I think, a big part of my downfall.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll make that happen.
The more scripts, the better for me. My biggest like problem is I don't know how to word things or like what to say. So I use the scripts.
Okay. And I would also say too, if you get stuck, take a screenshot and post it in our group. Like, I feel like I do that still. I'll send like, oh gosh, y'all, I don't know what to respond. I'll send it to Laura and Jessica. Like, it's totally okay to do that. So if you get stuck, just sometimes having somebody else bounce ideas off of is so helpful.
Sometimes people don't have Facebook Messenger on their phone, but they only log on to Facebook on their phone instead of their computer. And then like once randomly in a blue moon, they'll actually get on the computer. Because one of my girls, I messaged her on my like very first day, and she just now got back to me and telling me that she has not logged in on a computer. What do we do to not bother them in that case?
I would say for those people, if you say, hey girl, if there's a better way to communicate with you, like I can text you, I can email you, whatever you think. So if I know it's very frustrating.
Because you never know if they have it or not.
But also with that too, I kind of do a passive aggressive post or approach, and I'll just go like or comment on something of their post.
Oh yeah.
And then I get them on the radar. And then a lot of times if somebody does that to me, it's kind of like I go down a rabbit hole and I'm like, oh, what have they been up to? And I'll go check them out. And then that's why if you do a scroll of your news feed, if I go to your timeline, within one scroll, I should be able to know you're a coach, you run monthly challenge groups, and I can join your team. You know what I mean? So I kind of do that too.
Yes. Okay, so just to wrap up some things. So I know we had our sneak peek last week. So everyone that was invited, that signed up, like Nataly said, definitely follow up with them. And Nataly, if you could post like what you responded with, like in some of your scripts, that would be awesome for everyone. So we said we would start on Monday. So what's going to happen tomorrow is you are going to send out your 6 emails. So it's in the Google Docs. So the 6 emails starting Monday is number 1. And then next Monday, May 2nd, we will start our boot camp. And actually we open it up this Friday and start our why videos. So we'll go ahead and post that at like towards the end of the week. But this week we'll do the emails. And next week, May 2nd, is day 1 of boot camp. So just a little kind of refreshers for you guys. But yeah, thank you for everyone who participated in Sneak Peek, and I think it was a good success. Awesome.
Great job, Natalie.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Yes. Anything